Hello, hello. In this timeless reading, I've been guided to give you some love messages to empower you with perspective you need for healing or resolution you seek, however that unfolds for you from any love relationships that you still carry connections to in any way. So that may come in the form of any type of guilt, shame, regret, hurt, anxiety, coulda, woulda, shoulda that you're carrying around that is keeping you from moving forward. So as time is not linear, souls can entangle, and these unresolved dynamics of the past can affect our present emotional state and thoughts, and therefore our vibration. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another Pick a Card reading here at Feminist, Alchemist. This is Samara. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Do keep in mind all of these readings are general, so some things may resonate with you, some things may not. Feel free to explore the channel further to see if there's anything that resonates with you, or just take what is in this message that feels like it sparks something within you and leave the rest. So there will be 4 piles today. There are 4 images and 4 sounds that you will be able to use to help you choose a pile. In this discussion today, I am asking about some lessons from love, romantic relationships. And so I'll be asking about the nature of a certain love relationship, getting a higher perspective, a more objective perspective of the details of that relationship, revealing any soul lessons and possible contracts. We'll look at some light and shadow aspects in that relationship, and then some guidance for you to come to whatever peace you would like to find with this relationship, one that you may be in. Mostly, I'm getting the vibe that they're asking me to address some relationships that some people are having a difficult time letting go of, and or they have questions around why a relationship went a certain way. There are some hidden gems. I'm also going to ask if there are any hidden gems of wisdom, knowledge, or healing in those relationships. So that's the rundown. Do take a look at your options as they are showing now, and I will also play the sounds and see you in your reading. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. So I've pre-shuffled your first few cards here. I haven't looked at them yet, but shuffled them off camera. Yes, I did. And then I have some additional cards that I will bring. So we have card 33, which I believe is Kuan Yin, showing up at the top of your relationship or love lessons reading. And then card 25. Oh, sorry, I got to check which one that is. 25 is nature. So I'll hold these cards up closer to you here for you to see. So part of your love lesson. So for the particular relationship that you have in mind here, sorry, my scarf is covering my mic, so you may hear some scratching as I adjust that. There's a lot of energy of compassion in this relationship. An energy of compassion and an energy of being able to accept people as they are, and accepting yourself as you are is at the core of that lesson as well. Well, it is the core of that lesson, to be honest. If we continue to acknowledge that romantic relationships are mirrors of ourselves, and so they're reminding me that a lot of times when we have high expectations of how someone is to treat us or what we are to get from our romantic relationships, it's not simply what we believe we are worth, but it's also what we feel we need in order to feel whole. So let me turn over the next cards. Okay, Eagle, ancestral healing, and the Hare, strength. Your ancestors are holding space for you to heal your past. This is an ancestral healing. And Hare, strength. Time to make clear decisions, bring awareness and light to the situation. So this is either a pattern in your relationships, or it's as I said, a particular relationship that you could be struggling with letting go of, or struggling with coming to terms with wherever it's sitting in your energy and in your life. The nature of this relationship is one where there is great capacity for healing something, a dynamic that existed not just in the life that you are living now. It is, there has general healing, not general, generational healing attached to this specific relationship or the relationships that you have navigated. I'm just going to fix my mic. Okay, that should be better. So sorry about that. There's generational healing at play here, and there is bringing something to the surface that has been looked over. They're pointing me to the number 7 here, and it's also 4 minutes and 30 on the clock that I'm watching. 4 plus 3 also equals 7. So there's something about this specific time, that this is the time in your existence, in your incarnation. You are the time to bring something to light, to bring awareness and light to a situation so that there can be healing and a breaking of a pattern. So if you look closely, you will have manifestations, iterations, versions of what you are going through, what you have experienced in this relationship as something that you have seen with romantic relationships in your family. So let's go to, let's say, the light aspects of this relationship. I like to start with the light aspects. Let's see how the story unfolds and is told. The wounds that are coming up to be healed through this relationship are not only your own. Now, this could go for the other person in the relationship as well. Am I to take these cards? No. It could go to the other counterpart in this relationship as well. Or they may be more playing a stronger role in your story than you are in theirs, although we're always playing a role in somebody's story. What else do they need to know? What else do they need to know about, does Pile 1 need to know about the love relationship or pattern of love relationships in question? I still feel, sorry about that. I'm not sure if you could hear me. My mic was stuck in my scarf. I ended up having to take off my scarf altogether. But, so back to Pile 1. What does Pile 1 need to know about this particular love relationship or this pattern of love relationships they're navigating? Okay, thank you. That did come out again. The page of materials wants to be seen. So we have the 9 of inspiration, the hanged muse, death, the emperor, and the page of materials. Okay, it's interesting because just because I say light aspects doesn't mean that they can be perceived as positive. Let's say these are the ones that are kind of easiest to see at the surface. The shadow aspects may be ones that are one is less willing to see. So with the 9 of inspiration, this particular relationship, Pile 1, was one where, well, the 9 of inspiration and the hanged muse, you may have felt very much at odds. Like there was a lot of attraction in the beginning to one's uniqueness, one's unique point of view. But that uniqueness may have been challenged by the dynamics of this connection. For better or for worse, one can't say at this point. But there was a great transformation within this relationship. Okay, the first story I got is that within this relationship, there was a stronger personality who, although in the beginning there was a personality that was very strong unto itself, that the demands of this relationship or the demands of making this relationship work caused one to go back into pagedom, into learning how to be, learning how to navigate. Now, this person could have also brought you to another country, for example. So, as I said, light aspects is easy to see. It may not have been, oh, I need to change the nature of myself for this person. The way that your life changed and your environment changed caused you not. So the feeling that I'm feeling more for pile one is that the risk that you took with this person or the life that you stepped into with this person caused you to step out of your comfort zone. So whether they're of a different, let's say, class, culture, religion, um, their life and their world was very foreign to you. This could also be their way of thinking. Now, they may have had trouble, may have liked your very uniqueness in the beginning, or you may have liked their quirkiness in the beginning. But something about the dynamic of this change, what was appealing in the beginning became, I'm not going to say what it became, but you started to have to relearn yourself within that context, within the construct of how they saw you, within the construct of the world that you are now living in, having placed yourself more in their energy. Because at the center of this is a death. That researching for yourself, the return to the page energy, is not innately a bad thing, but how people treat each other when, especially in a partnership, how one treats the other when one's footing is not as solid as the other can make a big difference as to how the relationship will fare and what type of support or damage is, what type of growth or damage is caused excuse me, within the relationship. So let's look at the shadow aspects. What parts of this relationship are less able to be seen? So I'm given the prompt right now that if so far this story is not resonating with you, that perhaps another pile will. But they want me to be very clear that what I've just explained to you about being this fish out of water energy, whether it's a physical move or an intellectual, emotional one, that is at the core of this relationship. And the compassion, okay, I'll leave it there. If that part is resonating, if this line of cards is resonating with you so far, then you should be in the right place. And if it's not at this point, then you may want to look at whatever your next choice was for a pile. What shadow aspects are present in this relationship? Okay, I'm going to take it. It's going to be the first one. Ow, ow, ow. My head hurts sometimes when I don't do what it seemingly wants me to do. I'm going to put this. I'm just going intuitively. So, let me move this all up somehow. Okay, so what we have here is the Two of Wands in reverse, the Sun in reverse, the Three of Pentacles in reverse, which I'm not surprised that so much is coming up in reverse, the Ten of Swords upright, the High Priestess is upright, and the Four of Wands is also upright. Shadow aspects, so things that were not as easy to be seen or not wanting to be seen. So, okay, first thing they gave me is that there is/was a marriage on the table, whether or not, or a long-term commitment on the table, whether or not that actually came to light. Someone was thinking about it, even if it was not spoken about. And they're telling me just because someone was thinking about it doesn't even necessarily mean it was you or the other person. If the person's family was in any way involved, someone may have been looking at you or looking at the two of you in a way of they would have liked it to go that way. That's a strong message I got to address that card at the end. Card number, so the Two of Wands in reverse, to the Sun, to the Three of Pentacles in reverse. I'll look at all the reverse cards first. Okay, I have here the underlying energy that someone thought themselves out of the other person's league to begin with, and never really considered them an option, and for a very superficial reason, or a superficial reason, but it also feels like someone's own inferiority complex, like they're never happy with anybody because they're not happy with themselves. And remember what I said here, that in the very beginning, Kuan Yin, compassion, loving energy, and the nature card has to do with, we have that feeling of loving unconditionally, but that love needing to be directed inwards first. What I'm getting here is that there was no way forward. I'm using was past tense because we're speaking. If you are in this now, be very cautious of how this person really sees, they're saying sees themselves. How they see themselves affects how they see you. And there seems to be an artifice of arrogance on this one. I feel like there was also, this was so deep in the psyche. This person could be prejudice towards some aspect of your being, pile one, whether it's gender expression, the social standing of your family, country you're from, city you're from, something. So, but there's a very definite energy of someone at first being attracted to the spirit and the charisma, and then the spirit and the charisma being disregarded, if you will, for more material and superficial aspects. So that's underlying that energy. It's not an energy I like to feel. So I'm going to move on to the next part. So we have the Ten of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Four of Wands. And What was hidden from you here? There was also somebody held as an ideal that no one could likely meet. Now, I'm getting the high priestess under the emperor here, as if the high priestess is almost like a karmic relationship they have to someone in this lifetime. And I also get the energy of, I was called very clearly to protect my space. Sometimes I get a little sloppy, I'll admit, right? Especially when I'm just excited to start a read. I know how important it is to do the whole ritual around setting my space, but sometimes I'll do one protection element and not another, for example. Today, I was called to do all of them and make sure that all of them are there. And I believe because it's of this person who is sitting in the center, I feel that this is a person who is not in the earthly realm, who is very much unhealed in either, I'm getting it's their ancestry rather than yours. Now you can reverse that energy how you feel, if it feels appropriate to you. If you feel that you are in relationships and no one ever seems to meet your expectations, and it feels very irrational and almost, what's the word I'm looking for? Chronic. Excuse me. Then it may be on your side. But I'm getting that this person who you were navigating this relationship with has someone who will never think that anyone is really good enough for them unless they are like them being like this person who is represented by this. So there's just a constant one disappointment after another, one shortcoming after another. And it feels like I'm getting into an energy that really doesn't feel nice. It feels like this person has say over who this person ends up being with. This reading is going left, going really left, but that's what I'm getting from that. And I know we started out with someone was looking at choosing you for marriage to this person. But I feel that there was something, I'm going to look into it more. I feel like there was something that you were not willing to surrender in that situation. But the Ten of Swords is just coming to me as this person is heavily unlucky, unhappy in love. And you have this is two different decks, and you still have this moth, bee, butterfly creature. So this person has something that really needs to be healed that you can't do anything for actively you can only, let's say, trigger the healing, if you will. What is the next question? Let me keep moving forward because I don't feel like hanging out with that person. So, okay, let's see what type of guidance they have for you to come to peace with wherever this relationship left you, or these relationships. Now, let me just be very clear and ask very clearly if this, I think I'm going to pull a card on it actually. I wonder if I have another tarot deck knocking around I can ask. Yeah, I do. I'm going to ask very quickly just to clarify if that High Priestess energy represents anything for you on your side, on your ancestry as well. Okay, does this High Priestess indicate anything, anybody in particular on the side of pile one? Those who are watching pile one. Okay. I got the Knight of Wands upright, so I'm getting that, yes. It does, not in the same way though. It does in the, I feel it's a figure who wants freedom. A figure who wants freedom. But this, it came on this side, and I've been getting it very clear for me that you are kind of on, the eagle more represents you, and the hare represents whoever the relationship in question was with. And the Knight of Wands coming on this side to verify that this High Priestess represents someone for you as well. So the Knight of Wands is this High Priestess on your end is that spirit that wants to be released and free. So I'm going to get your advice before I do anything else. But I already, or maybe I should just say what's on my mind. What's on my mind is, sorry, I have some music playing in the background and it keeps playing ads and it's just bugging me. What a night. So, what was on my mind? What was on my mind was that, yeah, there was something that was going to hold you, that was not just, it held you on several dimensions, if you will. What advice do we have? What guidance do we have for, my head is hurting. What guidance do we have for pile one? So these are from the Inner Peace Oracle. I think it's Unshakable Inner Peace. So as I was saying that, the collective field is impacting you, unseen forces in action. How can you relinquish control of the situation that feels blocked? There, yes. So you may not have gotten what you wanted. The outcome was not what you were looking for, but necessarily I'm coming to that conclusion based on the amount that my head is hurting in this reading, number one, and number two, that you're here listening to this reading in the first place. Or you may be contemplating where to go with this. This has much more to do than just you and that person. And you in constellation with that person, if they are not working on their healing, they will bring a lot of their unhealedness into your world, which your ancestors, as far as I can see, do not want for you and do not want for themselves, because it's necessary for you to be free and be you, because that is the dream they had for you, the dream that they had for themselves, that they live out through you. And so binding yourself into certain relationships, especially relationships where there are unhealed ancestors who are very much working on, in, and through a person, is not where they would like you to be. And it's not going to be the best for you. What else do we have for Power One? We have take responsibility for your life as a creative adventure. How can you live with more meaning, integrity, and truth? I'm putting it this way. I don't know. I feel like I should have read that one last, but because it ends off where we started with number 33. Take responsibility for your life. So you may have, and I'll show you in the cards as well how how visually these are very similar. The page of materials, very similar. They have similarities. The page of materials and this card 33. Your life is a creative adventure with these flowers here. So even if you were brought into a point where you feel like you gave up a lot, you put in a lot of effort, you did a lot of deconstructing and reconstructing of yourself, how can you use that experience to build more meaning, more integrity, more authenticity in your life? And they're urging you to take responsibility for where your life goes from here on. And card number 42, oneness is the way, which adds up to 7, which also is a synchronicity because card 25, nature, adds up to 7. It says, how can you show more compassion and acceptance towards those you don't understand? So they're giving to me, if you feel like you don't understand this person's way of treating you, way of speaking to you, way of thinking about you, you don't understand how something could have started off so peachy, hunky-dory. I don't know why I said hunky-dory. And I keep feeling Gemini, but that may have significance for some of you. It may not for everybody. But how can you be compassionate? Because this person has something on them, that has something sitting on their life that is unhealed, unhealthy, and would bind you, right? But at the same time, more flowers here, and your crown. At the same time, every time, so this is what the message I'm getting for you, every time that you are drawn away from your nature in some way, you actually find yourself more firmly. When you find your way back, you're in a more authentic place than when you had that departure from it. Excuse me. So embrace this experience as one that, number one, your ancestors protected you from before it was something that you really felt you couldn't come back from. Number two, don't wish this person back if they're gone. Just continue to fly and be and grow more and more into yourself, into your true nature, and grow more and more self-acceptance. So if there was any, I'm getting, gaslighting, verbal abuse, or a lot of putting you down, that's not for everybody. That could be for somebody. Then reinvesting in that positivity towards yourself, seeing your true nature and accepting your true nature is important for you in consolidating and integrating the experience of this relationship. What are the hidden gems? Hidden gems. We need some hidden gems for pile one, hidden gems for pile one. What other treasures came from this interesting encounter? Hematite, ground yourself. Yes, you have. As as a repeat of what I said, every time you're pulled away from yourself, you are pulled back more deeply, more magnetically to the foundation, to the root of, to the core of your being. So there's a hidden gem. Another hidden gem is rhodonite. Find a way to forgive. Your capacity for unconditional love, your compassion, your capacity for compassion, capacity for forgiveness has been strengthened. And forgiveness, they want me to remind you, is not about them, it's about you. So being able to release burdens of the past so that they do not color your future anymore and don't affect your vibration of what you want to create in the future. And then we have Labradorite, see the magic. And it's coming at the end here. And I'm telling you that I believe that if you look at what you really experienced in this dynamic, in this situation, you will see your ancestors and your guides' protection. And you will see the magic that you also created by breaking certain cycles. So I encourage you to look into what cycles you may have broken and pat yourself on the back and allow your ancestors to celebrate you for the work that you have done so far in this incarnation. So pile one, I hope that was helpful. It was longer than I thought it was going to be, but I have to go where the story leads. Thanks for being here. Do take the time to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Hello, pile two, group two. So, let me jump into your reading. I already pre-shuffled your starting oracles. Excuse me. And I got 4 of these cards that I would usually only take 2 of. So I feel I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to see what you have. You have card 14, footprints. Card 24. Some of these I have to look up because I don't remember all of them. Vibration. This is like epic. It's an epic story. Card 15 is Revelations. And card 29, this is companion. No, friendship. Friendship. So you have footprints, vibrations, revelations, and friendship. For your love lessons, pile 2. So we're looking into the nature of the love relationship from a higher and a more objective perspective, whichever relationship you've got on your mind. Now you've got the rabbit, sensitive soul, strengthen your boundaries and cut cords, and you have lion, honor your soul and celebrate its journey. Okay, so group 2. This person you've definitely had a past life with before, and you recognize each other immediately. So if that does not resonate with you, that you were attracted to this person very quickly, felt attached to this person very quickly, then this may not be your pile. That's, let's say, what they're giving me as a flag of indication that if you chose this pile and that those two first cards do not ring true to you, then this may not be your pile. But you are drawn to this person almost immediately. They say you could have known them beforehand, and it took a while for your attention to go to them, but as soon as something, there was definitely a click moment where the universe like lifted a veil between the two of you, lifted the glasses off, and it was like, aha, there they are. So that's very much an element of this connection. One of you could also be a very strong empath, as we have here with sensitive soul. And one of you could be more introverted, one more extroverted. One more, I feel someone very soft, feminine. Doesn't mean you have to be female, but one more leaning into the feminine energies and one leaning more into the masculine energies. One a good follower and supporter, one a good leader and provider. This is what I feel. And now in this relationship, these relationships are romantic love relationships, but I'm feeling that at the core of it was, as this friendship card here is on the end, at the core of it was a lot of mutual respect somehow. But a lot of mutual respect on a deep level, even if at certain times one could overstep boundaries. And if the rabbit is here with the lion, I would obviously say that it was the lion that overstepped the boundaries of the rabbit, right? The rabbit has the combination of, of elements. Even in this particular deck, you see that the lion is one energy, whereas the rabbit can be either. But the lion needs to be able to honor that the rabbit has, a balance to maintain, whereas the lion does not necessarily require such balance. What else? I'm going to move into the light aspects of this relationship. Light aspects being the aspects that were most clear to see on the surface. So this would also be an indication of whether or not this relationship really does apply to you or not, or if this is reflective of the one that you are coming here to learn something about. Can you tell me more about this relationship that we are discussing in pile 2? And of course, you got the strength card and the 2 of emotions. Yes. This relationship for pile 2. Where's this one? This one goes in the middle. Of course, it's the Emperor, 2 of voices, and the Hierophant. So let me read that. So you got the 2 of emotions. You got the strength card, which is card number 8. You have number 4, the Emperor. You've got the 2 of voices, which is the 2 of swords. It's in reverse. And the Hierophant, number 5. This was a fated meeting. I can see that on the surface, people may not have put you together at first. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Knight of Inspiration. Ooh, that didn't have a nice feeling to it. Just a little skip there in the video. I forgot to put my to press record again after I finished sipping my tea. So let me recap. So people may not have put you or matched you together at first. So I got the saying, the princess and the player, which may not have necessarily been the case because lions are very loyal as well. But I was getting here that there was a clear leader in the relationship. And people, when they saw you together, could not deny this energy that you have from the how you vibe together, which I'm seeing in the Two of Emotions as well. It was a very beautiful dance. And you have in this strength card, you have the lady sitting on the lion here. So while it was not the the match that people would put together intellectually, energetically, it was a very good complementary match. And as I said, there was a clear leading energy, which in itself is not a bad thing as long as the leader is benevolent, right? The Two of Voices, I feel that there was a lot of indecision happening within this relationship. Now, this could have been an indecision about whether or not someone would commit. This could be someone could have, I'm also seeing very clearly like someone having two sides to themselves. So was there an issue with someone being like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? They were very nice and then they weren't. Or they were very sensitive to your needs and then they weren't, right? That we'll probably going to see in the shadow aspects. But here there's a the two, right? No, this is a 7. Ooh. I don't know why I saw it as 2. 7 of Voices. That hits a little different now. Okay. I feel like I need to go into the next row because I feel like on the surface, I feel the lion was deceptive. As loyal as the lion is supposed to be, I feel the lion is kind of deceptive here. And or both of you ran into a situation without really thinking much about if there could be any consequence to it. For what consequences for what? This is not what is being shown to me, but without there being consequences. And the Hierophant here, once again, I just feel like the strength of your connection was clear, even if the integrity of your connection was not built on the most, or let's say your connection was not built on the best integrity, or let's just say it could have been a little toxic. It could have been a toxic attachment. And I shy away from saying that anything is good or bad, and that is any mistake, and like, boo, get out of my life, because all of these situations are for us to grow from, learn from, and get our healing through, right? And you guys do have the friendship card at the top of this objective view. So I don't want to get too much into what the nitty gritties were. Well, I can see on the surface that it was a faded and beautiful connection, at least in the beginning, or at least for for certain moments of it. Let's see what was in the shadows. We have Temperance in the upright. So in the shadows doesn't mean net positive or negative either. These are just in the subconscious, or things that weren't so readily able to be seen. We have the Four of Swords, or something that you did not want to see. Two of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, I mean, it just keeps coming back. Was this person very charming but non-committal? Ten of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands. Did this person make you work for their affection and respect, or make you feel like you had to work for it? At the bottom, you have the Page of Cups in the reverse. So, I'm going to say this in a way that is maybe not what you want to hear. And if I rarely do love readings, because I'm not about what about harping over what went on. And that doesn't mean what went on is not significant, that it doesn't matter. I'm guided to give you what will empower you to use whatever the quality of experience was that you had in order to better yourself and your own life. That's what I'm here for. That is my brief. That is what I've been asked to do. And so the angels were very much on this union. Angels were very much on this union. And this union was very much about just what we had at the beginning, which is your boundaries, with this rabbit card here. Sensitive soul, strengthen your boundaries and cut cords. You had someone who you had to deal with in life, in this lifetime, in order to get your growth, and to cut ties with them so that you can move to your next phase of growth, to your next stage. Now, putting something to rest. Something had to be put to rest. What comes from before the Four of Swords is the Three of Swords. It's not out here. I don't have any clear indication that there was any extreme heartbreak here. There's no card indicating that. There is, though, the energy keeps coming out of a cavalier, an energy of flirtation and non-commitment, with this Two of Pentacles in reverse as well, like someone's intention not being matched. Now, maybe someone is just not at the depth that you are at just yet, because you are more spiritually evolved. You are more, as introverts tend to be. And I don't mean to put extroverts down in any way, but if you're constantly outward with your energy and not in yourself, growth starts with it. Even the seed, right, has to access its own blueprint that is within the seed. Although, yes, the sun, the rain, and the soil makes it grow, but it's its own inner intelligence that allows it to become what it's supposed to become. So introverts are more apt at that part, but need to be brought out of their shell in order to get the stimulation, the stimuli from outside, in order for the growth to occur. So it's just approaching the growth from two different angles. In this case, you have the juxtaposition between the Two of Cups, which was very lovely, to the Two of Pentacles in reverse, which is a imbalance of effort and of real investment. Now, you do have the Ten of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. And I feel that here it's being highlighted that there was a real, so I'm being reminded, or I'm being told to remind you, that things that end not how we want them to be does not erase the beauty of some of the things that we experienced within the experience. Even people who have commitment issues or issues of loyalty and issues of being honest, right, are not. So there are people who still don't necessarily act with hurtful intentions or with the knowledge of hurtful. I, I'm really trying to wrap my words around it. You have people that hurt and cause pain, but they're not necessarily pointing the finger at you and laughing at your pain, right? So there's moments between them that still could have been genuine and still were genuine, even if in this incarnation, in this life, or in their perception, they can't feel it. If you felt the soul connection, this vibration, and you still have a love and compassion for them, that's not something that you should allow, excuse me. All right, sorry. That's not something that you should allow to be taken away from you, because that is a building block for you in creating, let's say, what it is that you would like to experience in your ideal love situation. Even if you've already found a new love, for example, but you still have, oh, there's this magic that's kind of missing. It's essential that you do not equate that magic with just that person. You equate that magic with somebody. I mean, not with somebody, as an energy that can exist just within yourself, so that you can create that magic with somebody by being that magic for yourself. And this is what I feel the Queen of Pentacles is here. You're learning to harvest your own your own magic, your own reality, your own fruit as she's climbing this tree here. I feel that this relationship may have shown you or a quality of feeling that you haven't had. Perhaps it was more lighthearted, more fun. Perhaps sexually it was more intense. You felt more in a certain energy. There was a lot of passion. That does not need to be equated with the person per se. You can keep that energy for yourself and allow that, let's say, that version of yourself that you felt with that person to exist, so that you are just that person in your next intimate relationship, and also all the times in between, right? And this Five of Wands here, by the five, the Hierophant. Did you have a whisper? I don't know why I'm whispering. Oh, I do know why I'm whispering, because I have other people live in this house. So did you have a sexual opening, a sexual awakening through this encounter? Could be. Did you have something awoke? Some internal battle within yourself was triggered by the presence of, I'm getting this lion. It's like, you can reverse the roles, but I'm getting this lion. as pile two's other person, pile two's person, and the rabbit as pile two. So if you had that kind of awakening, good for you. Now, it doesn't need to, the flame does not need to be extinguished because that relationship does not exist. Okay. Once again, giving you a message that you may not want to hear, depending on how distant you are from this situation. You will, if you don't already, you will be able to have a appreciation for the magic that this person brought into your life. Once you're past certain other aspects, you will be able to appreciate the relationship for what it was in your evolution. Okay. This card came at the center of pile one as well. I wonder how many times I'm going to get it tonight. I guess we'll find out. Card number 42. Oneness is the way. How can you show more compassion and acceptance towards those you don't understand? Okay, these cards are the guidance for you, how to come to peace within. These are the inner peace from the Inner Peace Oracle. How to come to a peaceful place with everything that conspired in this love relationship. So how can you show more compassion towards yourself, compassion towards the other person who did or did not live up to expectations? And then we have card one. You create your own reality. What you want wants you too. What do you want to experience? And this is what back to. I'm sorry, I'm really losing my voice today. Recapping what I said is, if you want that magic to be, you don't need that person to have that magic. You will get to a point where you can have that feeling and not associate it with the person anymore. Right? You're just going to be able to harness that feeling for yourself. And then card number 9, express yourself creatively, start something new. What creative pursuit do you feel drawn to? This, whatever was awoken in you, may inspire song, may inspire you to dress differently, may inspire you to decorate differently. I feel that this was meant to wake up something in your, if you notice here, I have a nice this is thing called calcite, orange calcite sphere here, because there's a lot of healing around the sacral chakra when we talk about our romantic relationships as well, that were sexually intimate, and that's where our creative center lies as well. So this relationship may have sparked something within you to if you're an artist, for example, or just the art of how you live life and how you carry yourself through life, how you adorn yourself, how you do your hair. You may feel like having a new look. And you're really being asked to embrace all of what was awoken in you through this relationship. Let's see what hidden gems were in this relationship for you as we close this reading. How many hidden gems are we going to get today? I feel that there's something down here, and I feel I'm going to leave it at 2. So we have rhodochrosite. Remember your worth. Yes, and it's the same pink as this friendship card here, but I feel the friendship is with yourself. first and foremost. It's remembering it's about self-love. It's about sensuality, sexuality, embracing yourself as you are, embracing your physical form. I'm feeling a lot of that energy for you, pile 2. And then Labradorite Sea, the magic. I think you could see a fairy tale if you were to step back far enough. You'd be able to see the fairy tale in this story. And forget or release the losses that you may feel and embrace. I keep coming back to whatever was awoken inside of you. And at the bottom of the deck, I was prompted to look at the bottom of the deck because I just wanted to tell you to look at this in a situation in a more lighthearted way. And the bottom of the deck is Angel Aura Quartz, lighten up. So I hope that this message was helpful to you, pile 2. I will do like and subscribe if it was, and I will see you again next time. Until then, take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye-bye. Hello, group 3. Here are your love lessons for today. So I've pre-shuffled your first oracles here. I got card 25, Nature. And card 23, which I believe is Fairies. Let me double check that. 28 is Dreaming. And card 33, Guanyin. Now, I'm hearing you may be have been drawn to another deck, to another group. I won't tell you which one, but if you were drawn to another group, then you can check that one out after this one. If you're coming from that group, and if you came from that group, you'll know why you also are brought to this group. I guess we'll find out why as we go along. So let me just double check in my book that card is actually Fairies, which I'm pretty sure it is. No, it's magical. Yes, I know what fairies look like. Magical. So, Nature, Magical, Dreaming, and Guanyin. Okay, so this first set of cards, we're just looking into the nature of this relationship from a higher level overview, from a higher, more objective perspective. Okay, I'm getting a big divide here. I'm feeling 2 spiritually inclined people, but 2 that approach it in very different ways. At least maybe on the surface, it had seemed like you approach it in similar ways. And it could be that spiritual bond, not spiritual bond, shared interest in spirituality may have been an icebreaker. So they're showing me a possibility in 3D how things may have come together. However, I am feeling that there is a more practical, almost witchy energy, nature, pagan, Wiccan, working with elementals type of energy here. And then on the other side, there's a very heady, almost not necessarily lived out in practical life version of spirituality. So there's one that's very practical, everyday magic and seeing magic in the everyday. And there's one that doesn't intersect as much with, now that's not the truth of these cards. I'm interpreting what these cards are signifying, and I'm communicating to you what I'm hearing and seeing and feeling. That on this side with Kuan Yin and the dreaming card, that it feels like more of a heady, intellectual spirituality, although the colors are indicating the heart chakra. But we'll see how that plays out here. One is more childlike energy, and one is more, I'm hearing know-it-all energy. I'm just going to go into the cards and see if it reflects what I am feeling. So we have Squirrel, spiritual maintenance, be your own caretaker. Then we have Otter, initiations, be open through this transitional time. And we have Flamingo, unity heart, you are being called to work on collective healing. I feel okay. I feel on a higher perspective that these are two souls who are here on individual soul missions that are kind of parallel, but very different in how they are carried out. So like you already see, okay, I have a bunch of influx of information. Let's start with this. We have this juxtaposition between the squirrel and the flamingo. The squirrel who is working, trying to get a nut in the trees, very much in nature, in the forest, working with the cycles of nature, for example, right? And is very much about daily maintenance. And then you have the flamingo who lives in a very different environment, right? Where the weather is not as changing. And they live in a more collective type of environment. But they're also almost a more fantastical creature, if you will. If you were to put the squirrel and the flamingo together, the flamingo may think itself better if it had that capacity and a mirror, right? Because it's pink and it's tall and it's, But the squirrel, I think the squirrel would care less, right? The squirrel's busy taking care of itself and enjoying life. And in between this, we have the otter who is bringing initiation, perhaps for the squirrel to become the flamingo or the flamingo to become the squirrel. But in any case, this is a love relationship where people are both quite going through an initiation, going through how to be this, if I call this like a spirit animal for each, how to be this spirit animal, how to embody this spirit animal. And somehow they can, because if you've ever seen those pictures of otters holding hands in the water, and I heard that part of it people find very sweet from the outside, but I heard that part of it is also though they just don't float away from each other, right, and lose each other while they're sleeping. So there's a necessity for the companionship, but there may have been a lack of understanding or respect between the two parties. Which party you are, I don't know yet. You could be either of the two parties I speak of here. Let's see what the light aspects are / were in this relationship. Light aspects I am defining, or I have predefined for the sake of this reading, as those that were most apparent on the surface, most readily acknowledged. And we're just going to go through those first as, well, number one, a checkpoint to see that if you're in the right place. The Emperor keeps coming out. To see if you are in the right place today. And second, I'm not going to take those. And second, just to, reiterate maybe some things that you forgot about in this relationship, if it's one that you haven't been in for some time. What are the light aspects that pile 3 needs to know? Okay, I'm going to keep these. It came out kind of sideways weird, so I feel they want it like that. Okay, I'm only taking 4 cards, and I'm going to look at the bottom of the deck. What's the Knight of Emotions? Okay. So you have the number 4, which is the Emperor. You have the 10 of Emotions. You have the 7 of Voices in reverse, and you have the 4 of Emotions. Okay, so this feels like a very tumultuous kind of relationship, where it's like there's love, but there's criticism. There's love, but there's not like as much as one would like there to be like. There's a focus on things that are missing often. There's a lot of discussion about wishes, and maybe you have similar wishes for the future, but not on how to get there. And I feel like the similar wishes may not even be wishes for how to be with each other. The wishes may be for the world that you want to live in. So this is what I was saying from the beginning. It's like there could have very well been, first and foremost, a bond over interest in metaphysical topics, in philosophy, in spirituality, in philanthropy, mostly in, I feel like, spiritual arts and metaphysical thought and such. But I do feel that there's a strong energy of someone who thought that their way was the highway and their way was the right way, and they knew more than you knew. The flamingo thinking themselves better than the squirrel. That's what I'm getting. But there was a shared vision. A shared vision for the reality that you want to live in. There was, though, not clear direction on how to get there, and especially how you're going to get there together. That was not very clear. This was, I feel, driven on a lot of fantasy. But then when it came down to it, there was a lot of anguish, where even though you had these shared ideals, and I'm going to point back to the Knight of Emotions at the bottom of the deck here, even there was these shared ideals, there was this something that was not provided, or that felt empty. And I feel like this could also be in its simplest form, which I don't like to oversimplify things, but if you take things down to just the rudimentary write-ups for zodiac compatibility, that there's a love language difference, for example, that someone is very headstrong and critical, and the other is very emotionally based and does not have their emotional needs met, and that causing a rift, even though the love at the foundation may be genuine. I'm feeling, though, that the genuineness of the love that was underlying was not, I love you as my romantic partner, but more, it feels very rational. It feels very, on one hand, it feels very rational. On the other hand, it feels highly spiritual in that it's a very heady love. It's a very third eye crown chakra love, as opposed to a sacral and heart love. It also feels more like a love of, I love what you can do for me, and I love the idea of you. And I think that we make a logical match rather than a sweeping passion, if you will. There's nothing wrong with either. I mean, I'm a Scorpio, so sweeping passion is kind of where I live. But if it's not where, if you also live there, and your person in this reading did not live there, then there could be a disconnect, right? I also have the feeling that there was, yes, one of you who was, if you were planning an actual life together, one of you who was more concerned about the practical aspects of life, and the other was not as concerned with the practical aspects of life. So one of you may have been in more of a career where it was a, pretty solid career. You made decent money. You may not have loved it, but you were doing fine, and you're concerned with the practical aspects of life, and that was fine. It kind of did what you needed it to do. But the other may have been more of a dreamer and more willing to take risks and more leaning into, let's say, manifesting and aligning rather than working. No judgment on either side. But you didn't necessarily find a common ground of how to align those two ways of living. But let me see the shadow aspects before I keep talking, because we got a few more decks to get through here. Shadow aspects are things that were hidden, things that were underlying or in the subconscious that are not as easy to see or not as readily acknowledged in the relationship. So I'm going to take this one as the center, which is the Seven of Wands. I'm going to take all of these to this side here. We have the World in reverse. We have the Nine of Wands upright and the Star upright. As I said, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse in the middle. And then on the other side, we are going to have the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, you have the King of Cups. So you're getting it's the second time that cups are showing up at the bottom of the deck, which is telling me that there's there's some underlying unprocessed emotion here. Should I shift these over so that it's balanced or not? No. Okay. It feels unbalanced because it's supposed to be. The Seven of Wands is at the center of this unconscious area. So what do we got here? So at the bottom, I'm going to start with the Seven of Wands in the reverse. I feel that at the root of the underlying shadow subconscious aspects is that there was an inability for either of you to stand together and at the same time firmly in your own point of view, spiritual uniqueness. That was a challenge. And that challenge, let's see how it played out on either side. How it played out on the squirrel side of things is well, it's kind of clear. It got you marching towards being very clear about how you wanted to be effective in the world and what your idea of like-minded community would look like for you. Do they have to like and do everything exactly as you do it? No, not necessarily. But you being, I'm going to, once again, you can reverse the roles as you see fit, but you being the squirrel, the squirrel being equated with these cards, the squirrel is taking care of itself, working every day to in alignment with nature. And there are a lot of, as this Nine of Wands is showing, there are a lot of spirits, nature spirits, ancestors, guides who will and do support the squirrel in its work. And so I feel that there was no way of convincing the squirrel to become the flamingo. Like, I don't know any two animals that are any different who are more different than a squirrel and a flamingo. It's a pretty stark juxtaposition that really, no. And even the otter is kind of the thing in the middle. It's like a water squirrel. He's kind of a water rodent. But this initiation, so if I go to the other side here, which I will take maybe as the flamingo side, is, and also I feel like these were just two people who came together and they're in an initiation that brings them closer to carrying out their spiritual mission as they are supposed to carry it out. But they were supposed to not change for the other person. Hopefully, I would say that it didn't end in any type of disrespect or dislike of each other, although I feel for some of you there is quite dislike because of things that were said in the relationship from ego spaces of one person or the other feeling they needed to defend their right to think the way they think or to believe what they believe or to practice their spirituality the way they practice it. The Seven of Wands in reverse is also telling me that in itself could this relationship have worked if it's over, which I, for the most part, all of the relationships I'm reading for in this are over. Yes, but only with mutual respect for the other's way of thinking, way of being, and right to be and create and live in the spirituality that they have been called to live in. I feel that on this side, that the flamingo was called to really be clear about the mark that they wanted to make in the world as well. But they needed, okay, I feel like the flamingo needed to be brought down to earth a bit more and be more practical. And the squirrel needed to look up at the stars every once in a while and get their spirit team in and dream more in order to be the magic that they needed to be. And on this side, the other person needed their crown energy brought more down into the physical realm. So this initiation, I feel, it was a passage of initiation for the two of you to bring more of a certain energy into your way of being so that you could be more balanced and effective and happy. But in order to be happy, you got to let the things go in the relationship that make you stuck in what went wrong, why, or I dislike this person, I can't stand that person, I wish ill on this person. So what's now, I'm going to, before I do this, what does group 3 need to know? What guidance do you have for them to achieve some peace around this relationship that ended or is ending or that may end? I don't know where you are on that trajectory. So, so let's start with card 33. Take responsibility for your life as a creative adventure. How can you live with more meaning, integrity, and truth? You're being asked to take everything from this situation and just create what you want from it. That's all that we can do with situations that we can't change how they turned out. 33 matching 33 again. You can take this one next. 42, oneness is the way. How can you show more compassion and acceptance towards those you don't understand? This has been coming out for your group 3, and this is the third time this card has come out. So I really do feel that one of the biggest lessons in these love relationships, for these love messages, are that we have to accept the person as they showed up for us. Now, I'm not going to put any disclaimers on that. I'm just going to say how it was said to me. And take the responsibility to take the lesson and integrate it without holding grudges and without holding it in our energy field, which will only hold us back. And then we have card 11, everything is a reflection. Hold up the energetic mirror. What do you need in your life that you're not currently getting? It could also, for you, pile 3, if there was something that you were seriously lacking in this relationship, this is also that time that you can say, well, you know what? I would like to have this, that, and the other. It would have been nice if I had. And being that to yourself first, right? Hold up the energetic mirror. What we're asking for from someone else is what we feel that we don't have and that we would like to have. So the first and easiest way to start getting that is to be it for yourself. Let's see what the hidden gems are from this relationship. Hidden gems, anything else that group 3 can take with them. Turquoise, prioritize your health. Okay. That's interesting. I did get, I don't like to talk too much about what may have conspired in this relationship. I try to keep it as high level, high frequency as possible. Here, there could have been gaslighting, talking down to something that made you question yourself, question your beliefs. Some of you, even your psychic gifts may have been questioned. So prioritizing your health. A gift here is putting yourself first, mental, physical, emotional health, putting yourself first, which may have been something that you weren't doing until you let it get too far, I would say, if you're overworking as well. So this person may have encouraged you to hustle less and align more, as that came out earlier. And if you are the flamingo and not the squirrel, they may have encouraged you to hustle a bit more, be more active about certain things in your life, be more proactive about certain things in your life, which helps you balance your health. So if it's in terms of working out or eating properly or going to the doctor, things like this. Carnelian, feed your creativity. Another gift, hidden gem that has come from this relationship for you. I think that's it. I'm out of cards. I've gone through all the decks. So, group 3, I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Until then, take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now. Group 4, welcome. So I've already pre-shuffled a couple of your oracles, and I'm just going to jump right in and see what lessons there are in love for you from whichever relationship is on your mind. Let's jump in. So first card we have is card 42, Fairies, and then we have card 44, Birth of Angels. I already had, as soon as I shuffled, felt very high. I keep losing my voice. In between readings, I'm fine. I'm talking fine, but when I come on the camera. Okay. Just had some tea. There's a big vibration of this reading. Birth of Angels and Fairies. I think I want to take your next set of cards and read them all together. We have the Bear, you are the light. It is safe to step fully into your light. And then we have Whale, tenderness. Show compassion and forgive what needs to be forgiven. This was kind of epic. I feel like an epic. This relationship was a big turning point or a milestone. They give me the word milestone. It was a big milestone in your life, even if you're not aware of how profound the changes were for you, or how profound what happened propelled you to where you needed to be propelled. I barely see the second person so far. And I'm going to tread lightly on this reading because I feel that there was a lot. That you experienced. I feel it was quite pivotal. And I feel in this, probably why my throat already, like my voice wanted to go away. Oh, group four. Why'd you have to come at the end? So let me just take a moment. So one thing I'm feeling and hearing is that if you felt in any way that you needed this person, you did not / do not. The only reason that person was there was to birth something within you. So this is definitely a lesson of, or this first message is, this person is not to come back to you, and you're not to let them back in. And very likely, this person cannot come back to you. They will be kept from you. They cannot reach you. Some of you people, so for some of you, this person may be in jail. For some of you, this person may have moved far away and they won't be coming back. And even if they do come back, they still somehow won't cross your path. For others of you, and this may be a small subsection, I'll say this quickly so that you guys can determine whether or not this is your pile or not. For some of you, and I don't think I'm going to go deeply down this path, but we'll see where the reading leads. For some of you, that person was only in your life so that you can have whatever child you have with them. But they, for you as a partner, is not. It's not. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So let's see what the light aspects of this relationship were. So the things that are easy to see on the surface, light aspects are not necessarily positive or negative. They're just characteristics of the relationship to help you recognize it, number one, and number two, to help you remember. So often when things are over, we don't remember all of the details of our journey with a person. What does group 4 need to know? What does group 4 need to know about this relationship? The priestess. Cool, I knew that was coming in there. 3 of inspiration. They want this to be very clean. They don't want you to have a lot of cards today at all. Other piles, they got 4 up here, 3 down here, but this is, so I'm going to try to keep it clean. So you have the Priestess, 3 of Inspiration in reverse, which is the 3 of Wands, and the Fool. Okay. I feel this person was very drawn to your light, but they also were keeping you stuck. Wow, they don't want to talk about that person at all. They only want to focus on you. Because I asked if this whale card is the person. They said no, it's not. It's kind of like they only showing the person from a very high, like, energetic vibrational perspective, which is not necessarily how they are incarnated in the flesh and who you dealt with. They're only showing me from the objective high level, which means to me, as I said, I ain't going to get into it, but means to me it could have been messy. And so they're going to spare all of us the recap. I don't mean to laugh, but the recap of something that doesn't need to be replayed. This 3 of Inspiration in the reverse, I feel, was meant to keep you stuck. Anyone who knew you and saw you with this person could see them being a stone on your path, could see you being they're giving me the word ish disturber, like purposely causing drama to then set you off of your trajectory. This person, whether they were, I guess I'm going to find out whether you were sent this person to propel you, compel you to be the Fool. Because this Fool is walking towards the light, and this bear says, you are the light. It is safe to step fully into your light. And this is where the Fool is going, stepping fully into the light. And you may have very much needed, don't shoot the messenger, but humans don't like to change when they're comfortable, right? And when you're uncomfortable is when you move. It's when you change. So the question is, if okay, they're not allowing me to finish that sentence. They're giving me a new sentence. They're like, so diamonds will not be created without pressure. Right? Remember, this card is birth of angels. If you don't have a child with this person, this is the birth of yourself as an angel. And fairies is your earth angel equivalent. And that inner child, that inner spark that's always been within you. And this person is showing up or not showing up. Their higher energy is showing up as whale, tenderness, show compassion, and forgive what needs to be forgiven. Oh, as a message to you that they were only a catalyst for you to go here. Now, this showing up in the light aspects, it means that maybe a lot of maybe people already tried to tell you, maybe you are even more aware of your strength since you've walked away, since you've been no longer in that situation. They're also pointing out to me the glimmer in the third eye of the high priestess and this glimmer here. You likely, if you don't already have a glow up, you have a glow up in store, because you're very much stepping into an expanded light body, rejuvenated version of yourself that is also going to be more youthful, they tell me, in mind, body, and spirit. I'm going to see what the shadow aspects are, or if they'll allow me to go in there, because my throat is hurting. So it may not be anywhere that your guides, my guides, or the divine want us to go. And once again, you have the high priestess. And where's this going? They want the high priestess first, the world in reverse. I'll arrange the camera a bit better. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. The Empress in reverse. Ooh, Lord. Oh my goodness. I don't like it. I don't like it. I didn't want to say the D word. Oh no, the D word's not here. I thought it was the devil, but it's not the devil. It's strength. So, Empress in reverse and strength. So, yeah, I think we're just going to get the same story over and over again, because I feel like they just don't really want me. I'm being guided not to really delve more than needs to be. I don't need to do a deep dive into what was. Here is the point. You are the high priestess, whether you're male or female. And there were active forces that it's almost, I'm hearing two things. I'm hearing that there was a test that you needed to pass. Don't come out of me. I didn't make the test. I'm just saying that this is what I'm hearing, that there was a test of your dedication or of your ability to reach your high priestess status, or to pursue it, to go on active pursuit of it, and to pursue your reason for being here, to pursue your path and purpose. There are also people, though, and there are also those who were invested in you not passing said test and making it therefore as difficult for you as possible. So there was the world in reverse. I feel like this was not you. There was an external force that was trying to get you to not to go to this next chapter. The Knight of Swords in reverse. I feel there was a lot of deception causing you to doubt yourself. The Empress in reverse, that may have played off of internal, fears, doubts, childhood traumas, doubts of your self-worth, or what's the word I'm looking for? Insecurities is the word I'm looking for. But at the root of it all, this person also mirrored some of your deepest and darkest demons. Another D word I didn't necessarily want to use, but we're going to use it, because we're just going to help. We can't address anything that is hiding in the darkness. And this is what this line is about, right? So This person may have even minimized or demonized your spiritual self, your intuition, the power of your intuition. As I said, like gaslighting or trying to deceive you, make you feel like your intuition is not powerful. But look, you have the high priestess twice underneath this veil that says you are the light. So, yes, you are the light. There's no denying. If you were still wondering, wonder no more, right? That you have a very strong spiritual presence, a very strong gift, and you may not recognize it because it's like it's just you. Other people recognize it and are unhappy that you're so special. They're special too, but they're not in touch with that, and they may not get that gift in this lifetime, and this is why part of you maintaining your throne is this ability to be compassionate and just heal what needs to be healed in you, not for the sake of forgiving the other person, not for their sake, but for your lightness in moving forward. Because in forgiving them, you will overcome, you will tame your own inner beast, especially that may question anything around why things with this person, if things with this person were in any way caused by you or your fault or whatever. Yeah. Let's see what guidance they have for your coming to peace with this relationship, coming to a place of peace, inner peace. This is the inner peace oracle. What do our guides, angels, ancestors, ascended masters have to offer you? So you have number 43, rest, renew, and recharge. What does your body crave and need right now? Some of you, and this is card 43, it's sitting right between, you have card 42, fairies, card 44, birth of angels. And from the first deck I used, and then from this deck, you have card 43, which sits right in between the two. And I feel that you are being cradled by beings from many dimensions are assisting in your healing process. You do have to slow down to allow that process to be. So, but they are working with you. So this is what I'm hearing, your guides and those who are invested in your spiritual well-being and your overall well-being are working with you from the angles that they are able to work with you, whether it's 4D, 5D, 7D, through your crown, through your heart, through your root, through your intuition, through your dreams. They are working with you on your bodies and fields for you to heal in a very holistic way. So resting and recharging is part of your guidance here. What else do we have? Okay, we have this one again. This came out for every single read. 42. Oneness in the way is the way. How can you show more compassion and acceptance towards those you don't understand? This is an overarching message for everybody who came to these love lessons, is that, we're dealing with aspects of ourselves, really, when we're in our romantic relationships. We're dealing with mirrors of ourselves. We're dealing with, and that's not just in toxic or karmic relationships, as people call it these days. These are also in our most loving and positive, healthy relationships. We're dealing with aspects of ourselves. It's just that in those relationships, hopefully our counterpart has tools that they can use to actively engage in their own healing, and they also have tools to support us. And so when those triggers and traumas come about, we have the tools to deal with them. And we work through them. You work through them as a unified, balanced pair, right? For the most part, or for much of our lives, we are not in those type of relationships. So it's necessary for us to do our own work of compassion, being compassionate, showing compassion to ourselves and showing compassion to others. And then you have card 36, Leader of the Light. Where are you being called to serve and support others? This is if you were called to any other piles, I don't feel you would have been, but if you have, then this is just, if you're coming here second, this is to acknowledge that what was experienced, we do understand and empathize that it affected you very deeply. And this is extra. So whether you came here first or second, from your higher self, ascended self, this chapter of pain is over. They're pointing me to show you the bottom of the deck, which is card 9. Express yourself creatively, start something new. What creative pursuit do you feel drawn to? So, and it's card, I'm going to put these two together actually, because 36 equals 9. Where are you being called to serve and support others? Some of you are being called to just process energy, alchemize energy through creative works or through what you create on the planet and in your life. And if you're drawn to this pile, to this group 4, you do have a very special mission of just being very bright light. So I just keep saying bright light. Like, I have no definition for exactly what you're going to do. I just keep seeing light. You are the light. You're a leader of the light. The fool is walking into the light. You have fairies, you have angels, you have all beings of many dimensions rooting for you, recognizing yourself. And the lesson here is that those with the most light attract the most darkness. And on your path to shining, so this light is gone. On your path to shining, when you focus on the candle that is still lit over here, there is just you Your light will only be dimmed if you are holding anger, frustration, grudges, and it will affect you the most because you won't reach your potential. And they don't want to have to put you through any other trials and tribulations to get to your light. Part of your light, your work as a light worker, is to heal through your ability to show compassion and forgive what needs to be forgiven and be yourself. You don't need to suffer for anyone else's healing. You don't need to suffer anyone else's BS in order to be a compassionate being. You, first and foremost, need enough compassion and forgiveness for yourself to allow yourself to be the fullness of the being that you are, despite what you may consider to be mistakes that you've made, or things that people told you are mistakes that you've made. There's also a call for you not to believe what a lot of these people say, because they are, well, lying to you to try to make you come down off your high horse. But you're not even on a high horse. You're just being yourself. That's the thing. And you can't help who you are. You are the light. I'm going to leave it there for you, pile 4. I keep calling you pile, even though I didn't really have piles. Group 4. I wish you all the best. And if this reading resonated with you, please do like and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Until then, take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now.